next speaker is Dr. Neil Hutchison. Neil has an affinity to water, though his mother recalls mud as a more accurate description. As a consulting environmental scientist for the last 20 years, Neil has worked across the country from Muskoka to Nunavut. His career highlight was being introduced as the Mick Jagger of lake management. Neil's work directly affects planning and development policies and regulations throughout Muskoka. Neil lives on the shore of a small lake in Bracebridge with his wife Barb, 3 daughters and 2 dogs, and way too many black flies in June. So Neil is going to talk to us about the history of water quality management in Ontario. So please welcome to the stage the man himself, the Mick Jagger of lake management, Neil Hutchison.
I hope you'll let me be here for being a Bracebridge native. I just talked about back to the future, but really that's only secondary. I want to talk about what we've learned from the past of managing water pollution and how we might apply that to the future challenges that we face based on how we solved these problems in the past. I've been a water quality scientist for 40 years. I started my career as a summer student pumping air into Hamilton Harbor from the filthy coal docks. I've gone on to go to grad school, stay acquainted with grad school friends, sample sewage in Alberta, and working in Nunavut, which is a very pleasant experience. There's been several trends in pollution over the 2 years. When I was in high school, we heard about silent spring and DDT. Lake Erie was dying. At Guelph, we were still working at Lake Erie dying in point source control. At grad school, Love Canal organic contaminants were the problem. In my working career, we've worked at biological pollution, invading species of zebra mussels, and in the private sector, we've seen climate change come on, multiple stressors, advanced sewage treatment technologies, and a thing called pollutant trading as a new way to manage things. There's been several common themes in this environmental problem. We see the problem, the public are concerned, the scientists look at it, the polluters say, we can't do anything. It'll drive us profits into the ground. We get scientific persistence, public pressure, political will, we come up with management and solution. An example is phosphorus in the Great Lakes. Lake Erie was dying in the 60s from algae and too many nutrients. The scientists said it's phosphorus. The industry people said, no, it's carbon, it's nitrogen, let's delay for a while. Definitive experiment by Dr. Schindler, public pressure, political will, and a Great Lakes water quality agreement, which drove the phosphorus levels down in Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and Lake Michigan, the 3 most effective lakes, right into where the predictions said they would, and the water quality is restored up until quite recently, and we have other problems. So we listened to the scientists and acted it was fine. Here I am sitting on a sewage outfall to remind you that we solved the phosphorus problem, and it wasn't the end of the world, and it wasn't the end of profits. And those graphs just show how much better we are at removing phosphorus from sewage over the years. On the bottom, right at the bottom, big sewage plants are cleaner than our lakes. Same thing with acid rain. We solved the problem. Industry said it's natural, let's just wait a bit, we can't do anything about it, it'll kill the industry. Definitive experiment of acidifying a small lake, our own Stan Darling, brought the political will in place, and we got an acid rain treaty. So what's happening with climate change? We've known about it for 20 years. All we get is denial in life as usual. We see climate change deniers both within and outside of government. There's no political will or ineffective actions are being taken to manage climate change. As a result, our emissions on the upper left keep going up. The atmospheric CO2 keeps going up on the right. We're losing Arctic summer ice as one extent in the bottom, the lower left. And the bottom right, the blue is increasing temperatures in Muskoka, and the red is longer ice-free period in our lakes. So how's this happened? We've had to go from managing the worst pollutants to managing the watershed, to managing the whole airshed, and maybe to managing the planet. In each case, there's an increasing response time between our actions and result, and maybe the public and the politicians get a little bit tired of waiting. All those red lines show the pollution control measures. The blue line shows that the gross domestic product has kept climbing. Even though we kept managing pollution, we're still doing better, except in 2008 when the evil people of Wall Street cheated. We've seen an evolution from the polluter paying, from the corporation paying to clean up their act, to us having to pay our taxes to clean up land use issues, and our changing behavior perhaps in the future as individuals if we really want to solve climate change. The good news is over the years, the toxicity of our pollutants have come down. We're not dealing with DDT anymore or metals. We're dealing with things like phosphorus or carbon dioxide, which are essential to life. There's just too much of it. But the pollutants are getting less toxic. The problem is they're coming from more people, more places, and more sources. So we can no longer just manage big pipes or chemical bans. We have to start managing the whole continent and the whole planet if we want to make an impact. So change in complexity is what we have to do. This has almost been a cliche my whole career. We've met the sun, we've met the enemy, and he is us, as Pogo said back in the 60s. You hear it time and again, and it's a reminder that any environmental improvement ultimately comes down to the will of individuals to pressure their politicians to pay for it or to change their problems. Commander Hadfield says there's nothing wrong with having problems and figuring out how to do with them. It's rewarding, it's productive. Coming up with a plan of action isn't a waste of time if it gives you peace of mind. While it's true that you may wind up being ready for something that never really happened, maybe the world won't go to hell with climate change, the stakes are all high, it's worth it. The bottom graph shows that in 10 years, the US blew its projections for how well it would do with clean energy out of the air. So having been introduced as the Mick Jagger of lake management, I just want to say that sometimes you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need.